so they understand that you're handling it well and it is a legitimate way to handle it?
Every year, review your security controls with your security team and the engineering team or other team that's responsible for actually implementing those controls, and make sure there's still value in completing those controls every year.
Oh, that's very good. All right. Now, I want a great example, Steve, of security theater.
Having corporate counsel in the room with you when you present what your security posture is.
Okay. Give me a better example of security theater, Jonathan.
If you're a small to medium enterprise, write all of your policies, have ChatGPT write all of your policies as if you are operating Fort Knox, and set up a plan to work towards implementing all of those controls to have redundancy across the board. You've got everything encrypted, and leave no stone unturned.
Great idea. Let's begin.
Get ready. It's Super Cyber Friday.
Welcome, everybody, to Super Cyber Friday. My name is David Spark, and today's topic is hacking security theater. People are starting to come in right now. Thrilled that you're all there. Please make some noise in the chat room. I want to know where everybody is. I'm in San Diego. We've got Pleasant Hill. We've also got Atlanta here. Those are our guests. Our topic is an hour of critical thinking about compliance checkboxes that don't actually improve security. We've all seen it. Hey, our guests, two of our favorites, Jonathan Waltrip, CISO at Large, and Steve Zalewski, who's the co-host over at Defense in Depth as well. All right, lots of ways to participate. We have the chat room. We no longer do the bad idea. Sorry, but we do still do the 10% better tip. How to identify when something becomes security theater. What are the telltale signs? You can join us on video at any time with Bring Me On and ask a question of our guests or vote for your favorite question. All right, here's our lineup. We have a brand new game today. So you saw good advice, bad advice, worse advice, the 10% better tip. We will play the public interest. We do it now through Kahoot. And so you all can compete. And if you look on the icons, you'll see there's one icon at the bottom that looks like an old Nintendo gamepad controller. When I tell you, not now, you'll click on that to play our game. And our new game is called Tragic Quadrant. You're going to like it. It's a good one. Last questions and answer, and then our meetup. If you've never joined our meetup portion, please stick around for that as well. Just let you know that also on October 17th, 2025, that's our next event. We're off for the next few weeks. Next week, the whole team, CISO Series, is in Houston for WhoSecCon and a team offsite. And then the next weekend is long weekend, holiday weekend, so we avoid that. But we'll be back October 17th for Hacking Next Gen Data Threats. If you look at the top of your screen in the upper right corner, there's a button to register. That's going to be up there all day. You can go ahead and register for the event at any time. It will not take you out of this event. And that is going to be a great topic. And also stick around for our meetup, which I just mentioned moments ago. All right. I do not have that little button that you were talking about, Josh. So thank you very much for closing that out. All right. Let's begin. For those people who are not aware of that term, security theater, let us define it. And I do want to, by the way, give a shout out to Bruce Schneier because he is the man who coined the term security theater. So, Steve, I'll let you. What is security theater? So we're all on the same page understanding what it is.
So, security theater is having a conversation where everybody in the room knows that while it's true, it's not true enough.
All right, I'm not true. I don't know if I would define it that way.
Well,
Jonathan, I want to hear your definition.
I think of security theater as something we do in the name of security that doesn't actually provide any security value.
And I
it doesn't actually make us more secure.
Right. And I would add to that, it's done to make it look as if it's doing the opposite, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Correct?
For sure. Yeah. And at one point, it might have been a good idea.
Yes.
But it has no value anymore. And I got two examples off the top of my head that I could tell you right now that I think of as security theater, the way we do them today.
By the way, David Peach says, I love the name Tragic Quadrant already. Let me just give you a little history on the term Tragic Quadrant. We came up with the name literally, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago. We were fighting to find a game for this. It went back and forth endlessly. And then just by sheer magic, we landed on one. You'll like it. It's a fun game. And I haven't played it, by the way. I haven't seen the round, so I'm going to play along too. But it's pretty fun. You'll like it. Stick around. You'll like that game. All right. So I'm going to jump into this thing. We were talking about this off just before we jumped on camera. And that is every organization suffers some security theater. Like, I mean, it's hard not to. Yes, Steve, Jonathan, it just happens.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have Steve, because Steve gave a very colorful metaphor for identifying security theater and trying to present it in a way, because I can see that if you want to get rid of it, like just coming in, it goes, we shouldn't be doing that. That's stupid. Let's get rid of it. That's like a bull in a china shop. So, Steve, what is the way that you do handle it?
So in management speak, and that's what we're doing here, there's something called a brutal truth. And a brutal truth is, how do I bring up a topic where I'm calling the baby ugly without identifying the parents? And that, from a management perspective, is okay, nobody wants to talk about it because it's not a good topic. But we've reached the stage that somehow we have to figure out what we're going to do. But the goal is not to place blame. The goal is to be able to move forward.
Okay. I like that. Now, Jonathan, have you worked in an organization? Maybe you came into an organization, witnessed some security theater. How did you work your way around that, I'm assuming, political minefield?
It absolutely is, because as a security person coming into a new organization, I've been accused as not being secure enough.
Mm-hmm.
As a new security guy. Hey, you came out of this organization, you had lots of risk and lots of exposure. We're a smaller org now. We don't have that exposure, so we can do less things, and we could do we could stop doing non-value add things. The problem comes where somebody's job over the past 2 or 3 years maybe has been doing this thing. To me, a lot of times, privacy or like impact assessments, whether it's a business impact, a privacy impact, you're deploying this thing. If you've got a huge, long process to do that, I think you should probably have a second look at that and say, okay, are we really changing our posture? Are we reducing our risk posture by answering all these questions, by going through these steps? Third-party risk is also another one, I think, where it has a tendency to become security theater. We send out these questionnaires. We've got customers or clients rather, that we require to answer these questions about how they protect our data and so forth. And at the end of the day, how often is it really helping you reduce risk? Is it helping you make a better decision? I think you have to be really honest. And to Steve's point, you got to have those brutal truths and really have a very practical discussion and fact-based discussion. So,
Peter Gregory has a great line here. Often only a seasoned expert can distinguish real security from security theater. I have to agree with it. Like, someone who's not savvy, I guess that's why security theater is successful, because of just that point, right, Steve?
Yes. So another way of looking at this is being brutally honest. If I turned off my GRC program, would anything bad happen? Because we do it now because the audits require that we do it. But we all know it adds very little true value to protecting the company. Here's another one. If I were to turn off my SIM, would anything bad really happen? Because how often has the SIM and the SOC actually found something valuable for all the alerts? Okay. We do it as theater to demonstrate that we have it and that we're working hard.
Exactly what Peter Gregory
just said. Are we really getting anything accomplished? These are brutal truths now that we're very uncomfortable having, because we know, but it justifies our job and we're being given reasons to do it, even though we're frustrated with it.
Yes. All right. Let's actually play out, and I would love the audience to play it out. Please type examples that you've seen, you've experienced of security theater. Give me some quick examples of them, Jonathan.
Rotating passwords.
Yeah, that's one of the things. That's a classic one. Because, by the way, I know lots of people, if their password is password 1, the next one is password 2, then password 3.
Don't forget the exclamation mark at the end.
There you go.
You gotta have the bang at the end, right?
Steve, rotating passwords. That's a clutch. And by the way, there's also a fine line between, and let's define it, a security practice that did work at one time that's become security theater. Yes, Steve?
Yes. Here would be another one. Patch windows. How can I patch once a month now with the speed with which vulnerabilities are being identified? And so therefore we used to do monthly patch windows, and we can't do that anymore. And yet we stick with it knowing that it's not an effective solution, but it is what it is. That's security theater. We have to be able to patch almost dynamically, and yet we simply explain why we can't do it. We leave it at that.
I would say probably, I'll throw this one at you, Jonathan. Vanity metrics is a perfect example of security theater, like saying we stopped X number of attack kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. Our email security blocked 5 million bad emails.
Right.
Okay. Big whoop. It's the analogy. I think you say it, David, is how many raindrops does your umbrella block?
Not me. Hold it. Don't give me credit for that.
Oh,
give
I'm sorry.
That no, I have to give the right person the credit for that. Would be Wendy Nather.
I'm sorry. Yes.
She is the one who said that. I love that line.
Yeah, it's great.
So I have one using measurements as metrics.
Give me an example.
So how often when we look at security, we say, what is the metric by which we want to evaluate the effectiveness of security? And yet what we do is we go in and we use measurements to show how we're being efficient with our resources in deploying security.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal truth.
Hold on.
Right?
I don't know if I agree with this one, Lyle. He thinks MTTR. I mean, are you claiming that MTTR is a vanity metric? Because it seems to be one of the more popular metrics. I don't know. How does everyone feel about that?
And are you referring to mean time to respond or mean time to resolve?
Well, it can. By the way, that R can be anything. It can be mean time to respond, to mean time to remediate, to resolve, to recognize. You know, it's a lot of different things.
Yeah, there you go. Define the R.
Yeah. And this is, by the way, we just talked about vendors. Peter brings it, having controls that are never actually confirmed effective or not. This we were talking about because also, like, that's how you get insurance. And if these things are telling you that it's effective or not, like, you know, like if you have an airbag, but it's defective, well, just because of an airbag, you know, it has to be a working airbag, not a defective airbag in my car for me to have decent insurance. Yes. And how do you prove that? I don't know.
So risk registers.
Yeah,
Brutal
test it
truth.
and exercise it. But
Yeah. What, I'm sorry. Say that again about risk registers,
Sorry.
Steve.
Risk registers. Brutal truth. They work in finance because they've had hundreds of years to develop the empirical data to manage, whereas we're all trying to now do risk registers in cybersecurity based on 30 years at best of empirical data where we don't even know how to manage it yet. And yet we go through this exercise of creating these risk registers without a common understanding for cybersecurity, what they look like or what we should be measuring.
That's a good. By the way, our producer Josh just reminded us that we should be posting our questions. So please post your questions. If you look, there's an icon that's like got two question speech bubbles over each other. Just click on that. This we've heard also. This one too, Peter Gregory calling a security scan a pen test. We've heard, and also that goes into, you know, just exposing vulnerabilities too as a pen test, just exposing vulnerabilities. Or we don't really know. Who knows? There's a ton of them out there. All right, let's get into our first game. All right, everyone click the.
Do you know what
button.
others are thinking?
We're going to play
On the public interest.
All right, it's already up. I'm going to play two. So if you click remember the icon that looks like the game controller, and you'll get like the Kahoot window on your right. Just type in the code, and then you'll have to type in your name, and I'm putting my name in here. There was another David there, so I put in David S there. So I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to count down to 10 to make sure everyone gets in there. Oh, good. Everyone's jumping in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually do it down, counting down, but I'm counting up. 6, 7, 8. Get in there. Anyone left? 9, 10. All right, go ahead, Josh. Let's start this. All right. So these are essentially what gets searched more, and it's speed and accuracy. Both you're graded on. All right. I made a decision. With the theater, I like this. We're using theater terms here. Stage right or stage left. Oh. Stage left move. I did go stage right. All right. Who's in the way? Renan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. All right, next one. Yeah, look, it just barely edges out stage
Look at
right.
That is so interesting.
Well, there you go. There are more right-handed people out there.
I am left-handed.
Well,
that's my justification. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Already, I think I'm wrong. I picked one, and I'm like, I'm wrong.
Oof.
I knew there was Spotlight. I knew it was Spotlight. I picked Blackout like an idiot. Should have gone with Spotlight. All right, it looks like Renan's 2 for 2 here. Good job. Andrew Aiken's up there on the board. Script. All right. Yeah, you only have 10 seconds for these. All right, I finally got one right.
All right, got one. Yeah.
I'm on the board. All right, but let's see. Did Renan do it? Oh, looks like Renan's 3 for 3. All right, now.
How they?
All right.
Man. I think he's gaming the system.
I was going to say, did he write the questions?
That's right.
No.
He can type faster into ChatGPT than we can.
I'm going there. I always try to look for a word that also has multiple meanings. That also
for
helps.
sure.
Yes.
Makeup. Yeah.
Oh, no, makeup. Yeah. No. Makeup.
Yes.
I didn't think about thinking props.
Half the population is women. Come on.
There you go. Didn't think makeup. And a makeup exam. There you go. All right.
4th place.
J minor.
I got 4th. Nice.
4th.
Congrats.
Viper for 2, and it looks like Renan probably got number 1. 3 out of 4. Oh, did not go 4 for 4. Good job. Congratulations, Renan, for winning. All right. Very good. You just have bragging rights for this one. For our next game, we will be giving out a prize. So for our next game prize. All right, you can close this one out. Everyone click on the chat window again to get back into the chat. That was fun. I love the fact we're playing it via Kahoot. And neither of you won. I do.
Well, see, we want the audience to win. Okay.
That's right.
So we're being graceful in losing because it wouldn't look good if we won. Right?
But good questions. Kudos to Rich, our producer, who made that game.
And
I'm looking forward. And by the way, Tragic Quadrant, it's coming up. So you do not want to go away. Nobody wants to go away. Nobody wants to miss Tragic Quadrant. All right. So let's get back. By the way, no questions from our audience. We usually get tons of Q&A. So here, all right, there. A question just popped in. What do we got here? We get one. Why don't I have Peter Gregory on the panel? That's a good question. Why don't I have Peter Gregory? Peter Gregory, if he wants to come on and say something, he is more than welcome to come join in. That was Andrew Aiken. Andrew, Peter, you let us know if you'd like to come on camera and participate in this discussion. We would love to have you. All right. Next question that I have that's relevant to our topic at hand. Here's a good question. And well, let's talk about identifying security theater. What are the ways? Because Peter actually brought up the subject of, it's an experienced person who can tell security theater, but you're using something of your knowledge and your wisdom to identify it. So, what are telltale signs that, all right, is this security theater? Jonathan, you're nodding your head. You go first.
Yeah, I think it's so many companies are around for so long, and employees turn over, and that's just a fact of life. And we do things out of inertia because we've done them that way. And in past, going back to the password example, that was in the controls for so many years, and then all of a sudden it stopped being a control, and for good reason. We made lots of advancements in authentication and MFA, but it's hard to think about, well, we can stop doing that. Well, is it hard to change your password? No, it's a little annoying. It's a little cumbersome. Is it difficult? Okay, sure. But part of it to me is like Steve was talking about before, the brutal truth of saying, hey, we've done this before. Is it really providing value? And having an honest conversation, I think, is really the tough part. Again, coming in, and I've been in places where I said, we're going to stop changing passwords. And people say, well, we can't do that. We've always done that. Well, what if it does help? But we don't think it does, because we have MFA and we've got all these conditional access.
I'm trying.
Oh, there we hear you.
Peter's coming
Awesome.
on. He just had to turn on his
but I'm
camera.
working on it.
Lower left-hand corner. There we go. There's
Oh,
Peter.
there we are.
So good to see you, Peter.
Welcome.
Welcome. Here, tilt your camera, because we only got sort of like your bottom of your head. There we go.
There
Perfect.
you go.
Excellent. So everyone, welcome Peter Gregory. He is, whether you like it or not, you've probably read one of Peter's books. Am I correct on that, Peter?
I've lost my audio now. I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us. Well, I'm complimenting you is what I'm doing. So, so when he can hear us, we will bring him on. But he'll just kind of stay there waiting to figure out how to get his audio working again. And maybe Josh, our producer, can private message him and help him out as well. You can always give him your phone number, Josh, for him to call you as well. Rats can't hear you guys. Just say, talk to Josh. There you go. Oh, and he sent him a private message. Look in the private chat here. Look in the private chat, Peter, on your left. Okay, he'll figure that out eventually. People as smart as Peter also have technical difficulties as well.
Okay, I hear you now. Do you hear
Now
me?
you hear us.
Great.
Okay, great.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
So, Peter, what I was just saying, I was complimenting you as you could not hear us. I was saying, whether you like it or not, you've probably read one of Peter's books, correct? Your books are ever. How many have you written, Peter?
Depending on how you count, somewhere between 50 and 60
That's a lot.
over 25 years.
50 or 60 books. And why do you say how you count? Because what are some of the books that you wouldn't consider countable?
Okay, for instance, Solaris Security was published in English originally and then later published in Chinese and Japanese. So is that one or three?
That's one book. Yeah, that's not 3 books. That's one book. When it gets
That's still like-
translated, it's still one
it's-
book.
Yeah, it's like 50 something. I mean, about a quarter of those are those little dummies books like you see at
That's fine.
conferences
That
are
counts.
like
That counts.
30
When
or
it gets
40 pages.
translated, that's still the one book.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm assuming you didn't write it in Chinese, did you?
Oh, no.
All right. Let me ask the question I was just asking the other two, since essentially your comment sort of inspired it, is what are the telltale signs that you are dealing with security theater? Like what should you be looking at as an inexperienced person so they can become experienced to be able to label this stuff?
You asking me only?
It's you, Peter, specifically first.
Oh gosh. Well, I know how we would tell, because we would, just through our wisdom and experience, we would be able to see through it. But a lay person, like a board member who has a financial background may not recognize security theater as something
let's just take
described
a
by a
perfect example
CISO in a board meeting.
as password rotations. What is it that you see in password rotations that makes you identify that that's security theater?
Well, if that is done alone without other essential controls being implemented or monitored, it really would depend on the context.
Mm-hmm.
And other considerations. I mean, by itself, password rotation is often good, but there are some risks associated with it. But I would say that password rotation, but in the absence of MFA, well, I guess it's better than not having password rotation, but not by a lot.
All right. I'm going to throw this to our other guests. Can you answer a question? Jonathan, how can you identify security theater?
When you're writing a report or you have an output of something that you're doing in the name of security, but that report goes into a folder or you on a shelf, as it were, and nobody ever goes to revisit that again. Third party risk is one where if you do your third party risk and you have a big fancy report that you write up about all these different vendors that you have, and you never go back and revisit those, you never do anything with it, then that is by definition security theater. You do it once and then you never look at it again. That's theater.
That's a good one. Steve?
Doing a phishing test and being able to report that 100% of the people picked up that it was a test. Okay. That is security theater because you're claiming, okay, look, I just did a phishing test, but if 100 people picked it up, I made it so simple that what value did it really add? Because most phishing attempts are a little more sophisticated than that. And if I make them to be more like real life phishing attempts and only 50% of the people pass and 50% failed, and I state that, okay, now I'm in big trouble because now all the lines of business, it looks like I'm making them look foolish when all I was trying to do is to say, look, a 30 or 40% pass rate is probably where I want it to be because I'm reflecting the reality of the attack. There's security theater.
All right. I want to throw Lyle sort of clarified his MTTR comment. And essentially what it's summarizing here, MTTR requires context. Certain things need to be remediated faster than others. And the question is, how can you remediate bigger issues? But, maybe MTTR comes with a severity level. MTTRs of items that are at a 10 severity can be, remediated this quickly. MTTR of a 1 can be remediated this quickly. I mean, maybe that's the way to do it. Does anyone do it like that? Peter? Yes?
I
No?
think it's wise to have tiered risk response because for a very high severity incident, you should be beginning action more quickly than a very low security incident, and there may be shorter escalation fuses and more frequent updates to executives, as well as the higher the severity, the higher in the org chart you involve executives. For instance,
Right.
for a stolen laptop that had full disk encryption, where you're not particularly worried about an evil maid attack, you're not going to ring the CEO on the weekend. I mean, that's more of a routine thing.
I would offer a little bit of a counterpoint to say that the initial alert, you might not know if it's the level of severity. You might have to do some initial triage, which is why it's so important for your SOC to have really good triage steps to say, if these criteria are true, yeah, then I need to call the CISO, then I need to call the, other executive members.
For sure.
And
for
having
sure.
those escalation tiers is really, really important.
Right. And sometimes you might change that severity level as you get into it further and
for
decide,
sure.
oh, this is worse than we thought, or oh, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Oh, do we have any questions? No questions. Get some questions in, people. I'm going to my own. That's a good. Okay. So really, like the question I was asking before, this is why the experience comes into play, because there isn't like a rubric that someone follows. Like, does it do this? Check. Does it do this? Check. But what was kind of interesting that I saw from the chat room was, that, it had security theater takes different forms, like theater takes different forms. So, for example, what Andrew Aiken says, pen testing without implementing remediations. If you just do the pen test and nothing gets done, that is security theater. But pen tests by themselves are not lacking value. It's the combination of them. Yep. So, right? The combination of doing it and then doing nothing afterwards, which we've heard that happen all the time.
Yeah, just like the vulnerability scans that somebody mentioned before. Yeah. You do the vulnerability scan and you've got 1,000 vulnerabilities. Okay, now what do you do with it? Maybe you need to tailor that a little bit. Just having the scan and having the output really doesn't do anything. It's that follow through. Sorry, Steve, I interrupted you.
So security theater, using static tests against a dynamic attack perspective. Okay. The attackers are constantly hitting me. My defensive perimeter, because of my business, is constantly changing. So I have two dynamic aspects. And then I go do an annual pen test. Okay. And say, see, I'm doing okay. It's obsolete an hour after I do it because everything else in the environment is constantly moving. And I'm claiming one static test once a year reflects a year of dynamic change. That's security theater. Okay.
Oh, this is a good comment here. I want everyone's take on this. David Munyaka says, I think another political theater is choosing only to, I'm assuming, tell the good security updates to the board and not report the others. Yes, that again, this, it all takes different forms. What do you think, Peter, on that?
I definitely agree. I mean, if you only share the good news and not the bad news, you're like, oh yeah, we stopped all these attacks, but we lost our two best engineers. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you don't, a leader really needs to tell the truth, all of it, and not cherry pick only what they want to say. I mean, the whole truth, more accurately paints the whole picture, and that's what boards and senior executives really need to know. What's our real posture here?
All right. We're gonna drop you in just a second, but I have one last question for you, Peter. Peter, which book is your most successful? And also I want to know which one's your least successful book.
Well, my most successful book was the very first one I wrote, Solaris Security. I wrote it in 1998. It was published in 99. It might be copyrighted in 99 or 2000. I didn't learn until maybe 15 years after I wrote it that every engineering employee at Sun Microsystems was given a copy of that book. So I had
really,
this big
so that's why it
site.
became so. Okay,
Yeah,
here's my question: when was the last copy of that sold?
It's on Amazon today, so maybe.
So are people actually
ago.
no? But they're not new copies; they're buying used copies of it. So you're not making any money off of it.
Well, no, not really. No. Least successful might be, so I've written a lot of for Dummies books.
Yeah.
And so like Computer Viruses for Dummies was the first book published in a different physical size format. That book did all right. But then, the Dummies brand, which has been hugely successful over decades, they've experimented with different things. And one experiment that they did that I think was kind of a flop was the series of titles that were getting a blankety blank job for dummies. So I wrote two of those, one of them co-authored. So getting a networking job for dummies, getting a cybersecurity job for dummies. Great concept, but they just didn't move that much.
I'm kind of surprised getting a cybersecurity job didn't work because it is a good concept. All right, Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Peter Gregory, buy his Solaris book, but buy a new copy if they dare to print it again.
You can find it. Yeah, but who's running Solaris today? I mean, the internet was built on Solaris in the 90s, and that's why it was a good seller.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Peter.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so questions have come in. Excuse me. Okay, so this is a really good, this is a good basic question from Murad Sid. How do CISOs balance genuine security needs with the need to demonstrate security to stakeholders? I mean, this is kind of your job as a CISO, correct, Steve?
Okay. Plausible deniability. Okay. Security theater, brutal truth. Management's responsibility is to transfer risk to somebody else. Okay. And so when we come in and we say we're going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, is not necessarily what they want to hear. What they want to hear is tell me a truth in a way that I'm comfortable with it, but also give me plausible deniability so that in the event something goes wrong, I'm not held accountable. Now, that is a political reality in the executive ranks that you now as a CISO need to understand how do you play into that balance of giving them enough truth that it allows everybody to say we're good, but not putting them in a situation of saying, now you've assigned me a problem, I'm going to assign it back to you, and I don't know how to solve it, and now we're both in a bad place.
Do you think, and this may be a little contentious,
I hope
do you
so. That's what
think
we're here for.
that these security credentials, certain ones are easier to get than others? Do you think there's sort of varying degrees of security credentials?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts on it?
They're different certs have different purposes, and people get certs for two reasons, in my opinion. One is to prove they have knowledge, or to learn something new. And there's either end of the spectrum to me. Certs are a great way to get through an ATS, an applicant tracking system on a job board type of thing. They're oftentimes used by recruiters to search viable candidates. Just because you have the cert, I've met plenty of people that have certs, degrees. I've met PhDs, and I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe you can tie your shoes, in the morning when you wake up, type of thing. So there are varying degrees. There's varying purposes of them. I think they're great to have if you have them. Are they required to prove that you know? No, they're not. But there's, to your point, David, this is a very contentious debate. They really became popular, I don't know, 15 or so years ago when the DoD came out with their, at the time it was a DoD 8570 was the regulation number that said, if you're going to have a perfect. Hey, Velcro works too. It's fine. Or I've got some slip-ons, But no, I just think, yes, there is an element of theater in there. There's plenty of people that say, oh, I've got my CSSP. I've got my, you pick a cert. That means I'm good, right? Well, maybe, but maybe not.
You're like my favorite interview question from Dwayne Grand. Tell me something really interesting you learned while learning the X certification, very revealing about how sought it to learn and who sought it to put a foot in the door. So, yeah, I mean, there's the answer in the questions, and then what's the actual value? Because we've all done online training and watched the information go in here and go right out there. I mean,
security awareness training is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a huge element of security theater that we do.
It's all about the moment you apply it, that's when you learn it. Steve, the varying degrees of security certifications or the varying degrees of security theater around security certifications. That's what I meant to say. Go ahead.
Yes. So security certifications, like anything else, depending on how you think about it, is a security certification simply memorization? Is it just demonstration that I can memorize some facts and play them back? Okay. Or is a certification a demonstration of experience where the questions I'm asking are asking you to think, not just play back something you read in a book? Okay. And then to add to that, how many certifications by the vendors are designed to make it easy for you to pass? Because for them, that is a marketing and sales campaign, because the more people that have passed their certification, okay, the more prospective visibility they get in the environment. So they're gaming the whole certification
what
process.
John Milner says here, my general is that if I go looking for a certification, it's because I'm looking for a job.
Right. And how fast can you get through them, the vendor ones? Because, you can just go look in the book to see the answer, because all they're doing is giving you the configuration steps to be able to deploy a firewall, as opposed to a knowledge exercise like CISSP that has breadth of ability. And so therefore it is, for the most part, still memorization, but over a body of knowledge. And then there's like getting a law degree where they're interview questions and you have to demonstrate experience, okay, to be able to get in. So that's what I said, is when you look at this, the theater is understanding on the back end what the organization that put the certification in place is trying to accomplish.
Peter Gregory also has a really nice sort of dividing line. Is some get certs as demonstration of skills and experience they already have, but others get it because they aspire to become an expert on the topic. They just want to learn that topic. And I think I think both are extremely valuable ways to get a cert. That's a really, really good point. All right, I think it's time for play a brand new game.
It's time to play.
All right, go
a
ahead.
brand
Click
new
that
game.
Kahoot. Click the game controller button. Let's get this new game loaded. Thank you very much, Josh. All right, I have not seen this. This is a fun game. I'm going to explain it in just a second. Everyone get in. As everyone gets in, I'm going to explain it. So you're going to put the code number in and then your name. I'm putting in David S. here. Okay, so here's how the game works. It is called the Tragic Quadrant. You are going to see 4 different names of what could or could not be a Gartner category. Only one of the 4 is correct. All right.
This is going to be so hard.
3 of them are completely made up. We definitely leaned on ChatGPT to help us with coming up with these names. I don't know the degrees. We talked about this because some of these are really easy, like we all know them, and some of them like you've never heard of these before. So I don't know what they did in terms of put the easy or the hard ones in there, but this is gonna be fun. We'll see how well we all do. You're all guinea pigs on this game. We've never played it before in front of an audience, so I think I'm gonna give a 5-second countdown, and then we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do this. Start the game. Let's play. And I think we're giving 20 seconds per. Yeah, I think you get 20 seconds per. And I think there's only 4 rounds here. All right, here we go. Which one of these actually exists? Oh, God. Who the heck knows? Oh, my God. Who the heck knows?
Go with
Those
my
are
gut
really
on
good.
that one.
You got it wrong. Oh, look
Wrong.
I got it right.
Ooh.
Wow.
Holy crap. How the heck did that happen?
So
Read it,
maybe
dude.
these should be quadrants that Gartner should implement. Okay, this is it. These are
No,
the ones
don't
that
give him
we
any
think
more
Gartner
ideas.
should be doing. Based
All right,
on
let's
random
go.
vote. I like that.
All right, next category. That was a tough one. That first
That
one
was
was
hard.
That was tough. Oh, God, I don't know. Jeez, this is not easy. Wow. I want to know if anyone's answering these with any level of confidence.
Yes.
You got it?
I am confidently wrong. How about that?
I definitely got that
I
one
got
wrong.
it right.
By the way, I should mention, CISO Series jacket. If you live in the U.S., don't click next yet. If you live in the U.S., we will send you out a CISO Series jacket. If you don't, we'll send you a gift card for the winner of this game, and that's it. But if you've already won a jacket, I'll send you a gift card too. All right, let's go. Next one.
Man, Renan is cleaning up today.
Yeah, dude.
I
What is
know.
it? Renan's got some sixth sense.
Maybe he's
All right.
AI.
All right, I don't know. Jesus, these are not easy. I was thinking we should make the actual box. And you can see I blew it again.
Brand protection. Oh, I've never heard of any of these. So,
Oh, Renan is
holy
losing,
mackerel.
but
Uh-oh.
barely. My God, it's neck and neck
Yeah,
with Freddie and
barely.
Renan.
Must
All
be-
right,
All
Must be a
right.
time ring.
there's no way I can win now. None.
Nope.
No way I can win. This is the last one. Strategic. Oh, God. I wonder if anyone actually knew one of these existed. Yeah, I only got 1 out of 4 right. Cyber-physical system secure remote
system
access. Holy
secure remote access. What?
yeah.
And
Are these actually real
I'm
categories?
They are
wondering,
real
I'm
categories from
wondering.
Gartner's
That's it,
site.
that's it.
Yes.
I,
They are
we got to
totally
get
real
somebody from Gartner
categories.
on to go. What
I
were
need the
you
reports. I
thinking
wanna
with
see the
your
reports.
CESSR?
All right. Well, let's see who
SRS.
won this. I got 0 points. No, I got
0
one right.
points.
Told me I got 0 points.
Oh yeah, huh?
Rena did not
Wow.
win. Number
This
one
was
is
way harder than I thought. This was awesome.
Freddie. All right,
Freddie.
Freddie, do me a favor.
Congrats, Freddie.
Congrats, Fred. And 2 out of 4. A winner
Wow.
where we
Can
get
you send a
50%
private message
right.
to? I know. I think our producer can send you a private message. He'll send you a private message. You get your contact. Or
Congrats,
actually, we have
Freddie.
your. Although, actually, no. Our producer will send you a private message to get your information. Congratulations! Oh, Freddie Alvarez. There we go. Congratulations, Freddie. Or is it Alvarez, Freddie? I'm going to assume it's Freddie Alvarez.
Would be funny if he was a Gartner analyst and only got 2 out of 4 right.
Oh yeah, that's funny. If you're a Gartner analyst,
You should play that. Yeah, you should play that with the Gartner
that would
analyst
be
on the
funny
call.
if we did get
That'd be
Gartner people
excellent.
and see how well
Yes.
they did on this
Yes.
game because and watch them. That would be really funny if we get a bunch of Gartner people. You know what? I need to be invited to a Gartner conference and play the game in front of them. See if
Yes.
they
There you
can
go.
There
play
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
you
I
go.
bet you they would fail miserably at their own
Yes.
damn game.
And I think it would be awesome to do that.
That would be completely awesome. You know what? Here's the other thing is give you an idea. So years ago, I used to do some work for Sprint. Sprint had a ton of, they started buying up all these local telcos, and they had an issue where they had a bunch of websites that kind of looked the same but weren't the same. And they had all these different names of products. They had so many confusing names of all these telco products. I was like, I'm like, I'm living this. I'm looking at this every day. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how it makes sense to any other human being. You know what I mean? Like if you're living the problem and you struggle with it, how do you think your audience feels?
Yes.
All right. Jason Thomas won last week. Is it a cybersecurity vendor or a character from Star Wars? He got 100% because he is a massive Star Wars nerd.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes. Massive. All right. No questions from our audience. So we're going to just jump into mine.
good.
Oh, you know what I have not done yet, and I want to do this right now. Hold on. I want to do the call to action. I'm going to throw this up big right now. So this is our event that we're going to have now on October 17th. Oh, it doesn't show October 17th, but this is October 17th when this happened. Do me a favor. Click the register button in the lower left. Register for the event. That's our next event. You can only click the X in the corner if you've already registered. All right. So go ahead and register for our game. All right. We got a couple more questions, and then I'm going to do 2 more things for our audience. We're going to do a few more questions. I'll do a little wrap up, and then stick around. We're going to do our meetup portion. I always love the meetup. Get a chance to meet everybody face to face. Stick around. Let's do this. All right. And also, if you close it out, there's still the register now for the October 17th event as well. All right, let's go to our questions. No questions from the audience? No, mine. This goes to the comment that you made at the very, very beginning of the show, Jonathan, about, review your program, see if the. So I like the idea of doing an audit. How do you audit your own security program to identify elements that don't provide any real protection, or providing maybe, and then here's I'm going to throw this. We say like security theater, but there's sometimes security theater provides a little bit, but you're doing this much work to get that little, like, how do you audit to see that?
Yeah, that's tough. And somebody earlier made a comment. I'll see if I can scroll up and find it. But that your self-assessments without a third-party validations are useless. I'll actually disagree with that a little bit, because I think there's a lot of value in assessing with the team. People generally in 2025 don't want to be insecure. Nobody says, "Oh, I don't care about security," whatever. Nobody says that anymore. How we care about security is what we argue over, I think, most of the time, on how secure we need to be and to the level of effort that's required, because you want to balance the level of effort with the level of value. You don't want to spend, to use the insurance, analogy, you don't want to spend $100,000 securing a $10,000 asset. Correct. Makes tons of sense. And so we have to have those real conversations with those engineering teams, with those engineering leaders, to say, hey, this business system provides, maybe it's $100,000 a day in revenue. Okay, it's probably worth, $50,000 a year or maybe even 10% of that, $100,000 a year to secure that asset or to work through some of those protections. And so I think, again, it just takes that really, really clear and candid conversation from the security people to say, here's the value we get out of it. Is there value from the engineering aspect, and how do we balance that out?
Actually, Dwayne has a nice way to talk about it. Start
Yeah,
asking
that's
what problem
great
we're trying to
question.
solve here. When things are a bit unclear, a lot of security theater emerges when we lose focus or can't push through the hard conversations about shared
Yes.
outcomes. All right. How do you do an audit, Steve?
So kind of to Dwayne's point, you go historically, an audit for cybersecurity is to demonstrate what your roadmap is to mature your cybersecurity posture, period. So protect everything equally in the company and continually improve my controls to have them more and more mature. And that's what got us into this trouble, is because now the executives are saying that is not a sustainable approach. So now I say, is my job to protect the important parts of my business, right? Is my job to understand what good enough security is to stay above the poverty line, meaning the legal line. And so now what we're simply saying is we're asking different questions of ourselves compared to how historically we just simply said, pick a framework and work on continuous improvement to always be a better security program. And so my point here is if you're going to do an assessment, you got to be honest with yourself about how you want to be held accountable. And can you have that difficult question to go to a company executive or the audit committee, like I had said, is go to them and I go, my job was protect the brand, protect the workforce, and protect the supply chain. That's it. Okay. If it's not those three things, the rest of the company is interesting, but not important. And to do that, what is good enough security there? Because I only have so much money. See, the whole thing became a risk conversation, not an exercise in showing how I want to improve maturity. Then now we're having an honest conversation, but are you prepared to think it through that way?
All right. I'm going to make an argument for security theater. Okay. Because we talk about security awareness, and security theater is a form of security awareness, making people aware that there is a security program. We have to think about it. Is there any time that something that does not provide a lot of, quote, security, but because it's out there, it does provide a lot of security awareness, and it's like, you know what? Yes, it's not doing much of anything here, but in terms of actually providing security, but its presence on an ongoing basis makes people aware of it as well. I think there's a part of security theater that falls into that category. Yes, Jonathan, Steve?
Yeah, I think your comments on security awareness versus security education. I think there aren't a lot of things we're going to teach somebody new about phishing today, right? People by virtue of having done this for probably 10, 15, 20 years now, people know how to spot fish. It's about taking
By the way, you're
time
giving way too much credit to people. Trust me, I know a lot of people can't spot this stuff. I think you're totally giving too much credit.
Okay, fair enough.
Because they're getting more and more they're getting more and more customized and tough.
They
And
are
sadly,
more
someone
advanced.
very close to me fell for a really obvious one too.
Oh no.
Yeah,
But
good.
we're so in the pre-AI day where misspellings and poor grammar and those type of things, miscapitalized words and so forth, where some of those things were pretty obvious, we're not going to teach people about fish. We're not going to teach people about the dangers of phishing. What we do want to do is just bring it to the front of their mind, right? And so is there real value in sending somebody through a 30-minute security awareness training module? No. Is there value in a 5 to 7 minute module maybe that talks about how AI is used today for by attackers to create new fish and how we have to be aware? But I think and my kind of the soapbox I get on with security awareness is and phishing specifically is I want to teach people how to report when a fish happens. I don't care if you click it or not. I want you to call me and you feel safe and comfortable calling me and saying, hey, Jonathan, I made a mistake. I accidentally clicked. I'm not sure if it's legit or not. When I clicked it, I realized it wasn't. I typed in my password. Help me out, please. great. Let me get you to our SOC team. We'll work through this. Don't worry about it. Thanks for letting me know. That's really the key when it comes to security awareness, is how to report when things go wrong.
Steve? Oh, no, we're going to do a quick wrap up. You answer this, and I'm going to go to a wrap up.
Yeah, no problem. Because I've been thinking about
And
this.
everyone stick around for the post-show meetup. Stick around. Keep going.
Around. So if security is a cost of doing business, okay, then it's the equivalent of, it's a hygiene exercise for me to maximize my profit and therefore my bonus. So it's kind of like brushing teeth. Okay, by brushing teeth, I don't get cavities. By not getting cavities, I don't have to go to the dentist. By not going to the dentist, I don't have to have the negative consequence. So then the question is, well, then how do I encourage you to brush your teeth? Okay. Now, one way to do that is reduce the friction of security in order to be able to maximize profit. And so therefore, can I accept risk by making you have less friction in your day job? Moving password from once a week to once a year. Okay. That feels really good, because they're all like, hey, he got out of the way because I realized they're not really doing anything. So what I just did was I gave you an electric toothbrush. Okay. You're going to use it? Maybe not. Feels good. I gave you an electric toothbrush. You're awesome. So this is where security theater is a good thing. And this is where you're going, David, is, so let's acknowledge what it is. Let's make people feel good, right? To be able to have them be part of the security team. But we also realize that it's really a form of hygiene, and we want you to do better, but we're humans and we're lazy, right? And so now we're looking at security theater.
Very good. All right, everyone stay right there. We're going to do this wrap up, and we're all going to do the meetup in just a second. There we go. Presenting on stage. Hey, coming up on the cybersecurity headlines week in review. By the way, this show is going to go through a major evolution, hopefully in just a few weeks. So we're very, very excited about it. This is going to be a massive change to the show. But I'm going to host, and it's more of kind of a round table, more fun environment. I got TC Dikowski and Brett Conlin on, both regulars. We love having them on. That's over on YouTube. So please stick around for that. Please join us for that. It is going to be happening very soon. Also, stick around for a meetup. I'm going to start that in just a few, literally a minute. Or actually, Josh, our producer, will do that. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Chris, the whole team. By the way, if any of you are in Houston, come meet us. We are having a fun meetup on Monday in Houston just before the WhoSecCon conference. We're very excited because CISO Series is going to have a team offsite in Houston. So if you have friends in Houston, tell them about it as well. Hey, if you want to sponsor a Super Cyber Friday, one just came in just before this show. Just email us at info@cisoseries.com and we can get you set up there. All right. We have exactly a minute left. I'm going to let you, Jonathan, quickly in 30 seconds, anything we didn't talk about, we should have talked about with regard to security theater.
Your internal audit, if you have an audit team, they are your friend here. So talk to them. They do controls, they do audits. They can help you assess what's good, what's bad, what you can stop doing.
All right, Steve.
Embrace security theater. It is actually more and more for a CISO a value proposition to understand what it is and then figure out where the right balance is.
I love it. All right. Thank you to Steve Zalewski. Thank you to Jonathan Waldrop. Thank you to our audience as well. We greatly appreciate you participating. These shows are so much fun when you guys get involved. And I just say, I love it. So join us in the post-show meetup. We'd love to chat with you. You will be thrown into like a room, but please feel free to jump in and out of rooms. Don't feel that like, oh, they're going to think I'm rude. I'm leaving. No. And by the way, if someone leaves your room, don't think they're rude leaving. Okay. All right. Josh, wrap it up.